morning, guys. I am going to make these tags today, and I thought I would share with you what it is that I have been making. These are index cards. How cool is that? I struggle sometimes with making tags that look the same, and I just love doing different things. Let me see if I can get y'all a little bit closer. Okay, so I struggle with making tags that look the exact same as everybody else's, and I was looking for something different. And I thought about how I could make these look different, put my signature on them, figure out exactly how to do it, and I came across these right here, these index cards. So we're going to be making index cards tags. So this is all index cards, and even the back on this one I did not do the back on these yet. So as you can see, this is an index card. I've just rounded the corners, put ephemera and stamping on it, and I just thought I would take you along as I would do this. So hopefully this camera angle is better and you can see more, because the last one, the camera angle was not that great. So bear with me as I figure out my camera angles. I really want y'all to be able to see everything. And this is a video camera, it's not my camera camera. My camera is still in the shop. We're hoping that they will junk it out at some point, but they said they were sending it back to Best Buy, so we shall see. Anyway, I just thought these were really neat, and a lot of people have told me that they like them, so I'm excited to share with you how I did all of these. Not exactly this way. They're all going to turn out a little bit different, but just a general conception of how you get these done. So let's get started. Now the first thing you're going to need, obviously, is going to be these index cards. Excuse me while I figure out how to get y'all into the frame. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to need index cards, and I use Mod Podge. See, I said it right this time. And then quite a bit of just a lot of my little ephemera bits and pieces that I've picked out that I want to try to get on, and some buttons and string, yarn, whatever you like to use, because that is going to be where we start. Oh, and also ink or alcohol sprays. So for this one, I think we're going to probably just tear it so that it's just different. I don't want to tear a whole lot off. Okay, so that is going to be our first one. This one will be our second one, and I would like to round the corners, but my corner rounder is this. Oh, it's kind of dirty. I use everything I have. My corner rounder is a Fiskars, and it is a piece of poo, but we're going to try it anyway. So put it in like that. Yeah, see? That's the crappiest rounded corner I've ever seen. I don't know why. Let's make it the bigger one. Alright, corner rounder, work with me here. Well, that's a little bit better. I just don't know why I can't find a good corner rounder. This one hasn't really been my best friend. It always leaves a little divot on the edges. I don't like that. But I've looked for a good corner rounder, and see how it has the, I don't know if you can even see that, but there's like little spots there where it's not punching it really great. So don't get the Fiskars. Sorry, Fiskars, but no, this corner punch, not so great. Alright, I had one from Memory Keepers from many years ago, and it worked really well, but it got ruined in Hurricane Rita, as did a lot of my stuff. We were just talking about how it ruined my baby book and everything. So Hurricane Rita was a bad deal for us. We didn't have like flooding damage, but we had wind damage, and it ended up being really bad for us. So, alright, so I'm going to use the Pumice Stone Distressed Ink by Tim Holtz. Ooh, there we go. Alright, Jackie, if you're watching, I'm really working on it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my edges. You can do this before or after you Mod Podge. I'm going to go ahead and do it before, so it will stick to the paper. I'm just rubbing it on the edges, but I'm not worrying about it getting on the card itself. I really want to get that that old look. Alright, so I did that. Now I'm going to take this pigment black ink. It's acid free, just black. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go over the edges. And what that's going to do is just going to outline the card and make it just a little bit darker, but not so dark that it's black. So you can see both sides of it. This is the side that I've inked with the black, and then this is the side. Okay, I'm just going to turn around where I can see y'all. Okay, so whenever you do it, it just makes it a little more outlined. Goodness. You know, before I started doing my scrapbooking, which I love, before I started doing that, I had the channel where I was cleaning and vlogging. And I don't think that I've actually stopped doing that, but I love this so much that I wanted to share it, you know, make it exciting. Now I'm going to get my distressed ink in Walnut Stain, and it just looks like that. Y'all are blurry, huh? Okay. See how it, okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm seriously stressing about these camera angles because the camera is on that side and it needs to be on that side for me. I feel like everything's backwards, so hopefully all this is in shot. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing as I did on the other one. Just going to rub the edges down and make sure to get some on the card so it looks really messy. Alright. Really want to get it on the corners. And, you know, I could use the little stamper pads here, but I want to look, yeah, I want it to look a little more messy. Now I can go over it. Sometimes I go over it with the brayer just to kind of bring the ink down. I'll just kind of rub it really good. And you can use any color ink you want. I'm thinking that red would be really pretty. Green, silver. So, yeah, you want to get creative. You want to make this your own. And that's really what I love, is making pieces to where they're not the same thing. And now I'm going to turn you back here and line you up. And guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. I want to give a shout out to Jess and the boys. One of my favorite channels, one of my favorite people here on YouTube. So definitely check them out. Now I'm going to get some Mod Podge. I have a cup of water. And I have my paintbrush. But I'm going to put some Mod Podge on my little paper here. No, wait. Not going to do that yet. Hang on. I want to do a little spray ink. I have to figure out my colors first. Alright. I have so many colors of this, and whenever it sits in these little spray atomizers, the ink, it's kind of like the glitter, the metallic stuff actually settles. So be sure if you put them in spray atomizers or even out of the bottle that you shake them really good. They come like this right here. They come like this right here. And a little, it looks like the Easter egg dyes or the food dyes. And I just put some in my little spray atomizers, my mini mister. Now, because I want this to look different, I am just going to give this a spritz with the metallic green color, which is, let me get it and I'll tell you, Smolder. So as you can see, as y'all can see, it does settle. That metallic stuff does settle, so you want to shake it really, really good. Get that metallic stuff going. The bottle has a ball, so it makes it a little easier, but you still gotta shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Okay. So, we could spray it, we could drop it on, we could do all kinds of things. But I love the way the spray comes out. So I'm just going to give it a little mist. Alright. And I love that metallic-y look too. And these things dry pretty fast, so give you a little looky there. Isn't that pretty? That's going to be really pretty. That's probably going to be one of my favorites. Alright. This one got a little of the overspray on it, so that's going to stay like that too. Love it. But while that is drying, I'm going to take my other favorite color, drop a little bit, just a couple of drops onto my wax paper. Y'all know how much I love wax paper. I'm going to get it really, really wet. Okay. And now I'm just going to paint my card. Instead of spraying it, you can just paint this color on. And you can be as generous or as, what's the opposite of liberal? Sparing as you like. And there is that. And now, get my little baby baby wipe here so I can have a place to put my... I'm just going to wipe that down. Alright, so this is dry. They dry fairly quickly, and that's almost good to go. So, oh, look at there. What's left there, I'm just going to dab it onto this tag just to kind of give it that aged look. And as you can see, it is looking pretty good. Awesome. Now that you've got it painted, now you want to Mod Podge. Now if you do it, if you paint after you Mod Podge, get your dryer out and dry it, and it will help settle that ink into the Mod Podge and keep it from running away from you. Okay, so I'm going to put a little Mod Podge. Love to say that word because I can say it now. I'm going to put a little bit on my card, and with a dry brush I just want to go over my card. And what that's going to do is it's going to stiffen up my card. And I want to make sure this is dry before I do anything. So let me dry that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and dried this, and then I put the coat of Mod Podge over it so it's got that shiny metallic look to it, almost sealed. And now we can really play around with the ephemera, see what we want to do. Now with these, what I did was pattern paper, and then I get these bags from my father-in-law's medications. The pharmacy actually uses these really cool bags. So I have one that got torn, and I'm just using pieces of that because it's really cool looking. But you can use paper, you can use material. You know, I've got some material here. You can use, now I love using this stuff, and I think that everybody should get you some pattern paper. There we go. I'm learning, Jackie. I really am, I promise. Get you some patterns so that you can rip this stuff up. It is really neat to work with on things, and it makes everything look really old, and it's fun. So you're just going to tear up pieces of that. Now the fun part here is that you can just kind of figure it out as you go what you want to put on it. But this is kind of how this went for the last tags, is I just started kind of playing around with where I wanted to place things. So I may just play around while I talk to y'all. I went and got my nails done yesterday. That was fun. So my nails are now getting dirty from the glue, but yep, got my nails done. I had to get them done short. I take care of my father-in-law, and I don't like to scratch him, so my nails are now shorties. Alright, so as you can see, I'm just applying the Mod Podge on, and the different ephemera pieces, whatever you like. Like I said, old patterns, you can get them for, well, patterns of any kind you can get fairly cheap at Walmart. I was pricing them yesterday. They're about $3, and one pattern, that, you know, you can use that for ever and ever. You know, 'cause you're not going to be using it on everything, but you can use it on a lot of things. So I'm just kind of layering the ephemera where I want it, the paper, the pattern stuff, wherever I want it. I want to move this occasionally so I make sure that it's not stuck. Now here's the thing, you want to keep layering. You don't want to just have one layer, because your tag will be thicker, and I like that thick look, but this pattern paper will kind of become translucent with the Mod Podge, and so anything underneath it will show, but it'll start kind of looking more aged. And once it dries, it really does start looking pretty cool, pretty aged. Alright, so this is what we have so far, and the pattern paper has actually made it more brown, so it looks more aged with the let's see if we can get a really good close-up. So it's looking more aged, more thick, and I think it's beautiful. So that's where I'm starting with that. Now that one, we're going to let it dry, and we're going to work on this one. So, and I use the same process. I just start applying pieces of pattern. Oh, I need some more Mod Podge. You only want to go in little bits with this so that you don't waste it. It is a little bit pricey, and you can use regular glue. This, I just like the varnish look to it, so that is why I use that. Alright, so I'm just gonna put that on, and now you can apply this however you want, and tear and rip on the edges. You don't want it to be super perfect, but you know, you apply it where you want it. And those little wrinkles make it look a little bit old too, so don't be afraid to get some wrinkles and bubbles. You can use your brayer to get those bubbles out too. This, I want to kind of get it where the words are showing, but as you can see, I'm not worrying about the wrinkles too much, because it just really adds to the project. Okay, you get to work on it not sticking to you. And I love this. This is where I start getting like meditative, start zoning out. My job is very stressful. I take care of my in-laws 24 hours a day. They live with us. So zoning out is definitely something fun for me to do. So just start seeing where I want to place all this, and yes, I do use a lot of glue, a lot of Mod Podge, and you can dry it in between. Let's see if we can get that to stay. This is how I got the look of this. You do not have to do it this way. You can use glue, you can use paint. Oh, I do have paint in there. I'll have to do one with paint. I used to do a lot of painting as my form of chilling out. I had hurt my back a few years ago and was stuck at home, so I painted a lot. I'm just going to mash that glue out of there. And it really was therapy for me. Move this so that it's not stuck to my paper. And so yeah, and the more you go over it, I love the look of the lines that are on it, but you want to be careful too, that pattern paper tears very easy. Alright, and I think it needs a piece right here. So we're just going to do that, and now I'm going to dry it, and I'll be right back.
Tonight we're running on the right track. I know we never gonna look back.
Okay, that's not my favorite part, letting it dry. Alright, but it is dry. Okay, so it's dry. This one looks like this. There you go. And then this one looks like this. Now you can kind of see where we're going with it. But that aged the tags really well, and you could keep them just like this. Punch a hole, add a string, and be done. I mean, they're really that pretty now. I'm just going to tear off the little bits that got the little hangover here. Oh, I have glue all over me. Do y'all love to peel the glue off your fingers as much as me? I remember doing that in first grade. Alright. Okay, so now I've got bits of ephemera that I just start applying and figuring out what I want to do. Do have that. I could age it. I think I wanted to do this here with a clock, but it's kind of big. Now see, my process is I just want to figure out where I want to go with everything. You know, I've got a piece of black lace here, I've got buttons, I've got tags. I don't necessarily want to cover up the war thing. Okay, that's kind of a good look. Now, would I rather have the clock instead of the green thing? No, I like the green thing. Alright, so this is kind of how like I said, this is how this process goes, and I will probably add and add and add and take away and look and just kind of get a feel for things. Now, I do have keys that I like to add to my stuff, and it's just a big bag of keys, so yeah, that's fun. Now we could do different things. This totally worth the money on eBay. Maybe 10 bucks or something, but I mean, look at all the keys you get. They're just really nice quality metal keys. Look at that. That is just awesome. I mean, you could totally... Oh, you can make that the hanger off of your tags. See, now I'm thinking. Now I'm getting ideas. I like the black lace, but it doesn't show up as well. So I think we're going to go with the white lace. I get an egg of white lace from Walmart for literally $1. It looks like this. Just like whenever you used to get your pantyhose. And you get quite a bit of lace. Since I'm only using little bits at a time, I can just, there we go. Look at that. Now if you put that right there, that's your little hanger. Put the button right there. I may still use that black lace to kind of contrast and hold the key. Huh, I like that. I think that turned out really pretty. This one I'm going to set aside for a minute because I really want to focus on this. Now, you can use your Mod Podge. You can. And I don't discourage it. And I'm going to take everything off here. But, as you can see, it does do some bubbling. That really adds to the aging of the card. It makes it look creased and bent. Before I do anything else, I'm going to use some of this walnut stain. And I'm going to go over those creases a little bit just to age it. Now this is important. This is where you want to just play around with what you want out of this. This is really looking good. It's still sticking because it's still kind of wet. That happens. Now I'm going to use my pumice stone again and the distress ink. And I'm just going to go over that and make it look a little muddy. You know when things age, they don't age pretty. They age at different rates depending on, you know, what drawer you've stuck them in, or if they've been laying on the ground or wherever. So I just kind of want to give it a more aged look. And I'm going to dry it again because that's really important. Like I said, whenever you Mod Podge it and then you add the inks, you want to dry it just to keep it on there. Let that cool a minute. As you can see, it's starting to kind of come together. Now one more big thing, as soon as I find it, you want your black ink. Black ink, okay. Getting my black ink from my Stampabilities. And this is really a cool stamp. It just is words. Just script. I'm going to ink that up. And make sure that it's not upside down, which is a lot of my issue is I get things upside down. And I'm just going to stamp the words on there. And some of them will be lighter than others. Okay, So if you can see that, those words kind of are hidden in the background. Alright, so now we're just going to start adding our stuff. I'm going to use the 3-in-1 glue just so that it'll stick really well, and I don't have any worries about it sticking. Oh, I actually like that too. So should I use that side? I kind of like that side. Now I'm at a loss here what I should do. I really like the way that that adds. I like the colors on this. So, darn you ephemera person that sent it to me from eBay, making me make choices. Alright, so we're just going to get that down. Really pretty. And now we got to figure out, do we want to go that side? We want to go that side for sure. Whenever you get ephemera from eBay and it's got two sides, and then you got to figure out, I want to use this side or this side? Not an easy decision whenever you're me. I like all the sides. All of them. Just like I like all the keys. I love all those keys. They're so much fun. Okay. Now, let's glue down the lace. Now, I do like to just glue it a couple of dabs right in the middle of the lace. So, and I know you probably can't see that, but just 2 little dabs right there. And then I'm going to put it here. And it's going to look more authentic because it's going to pull up a little bit. It won't, you know, it can flap in the breeze. Alright. So then we want the key. Now, I got these nails done and now I can't do anything. I want the key right there. And I'm just using this glue generously on that key. And then a little secret there. So you take a binder clip and just gonna have that hold it down, do my job there. Do a little dab on that black lace right there. Kind of covers the edge of the key. And my little button. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. Okay, apologies, y'all. My lady that comes to bathe my father-in-law, she's like super fast today, so I'm sure there was a lot of things that were missed. I have a rant that I put on my iMovie, and I can't get it out. Basically saying that these women are overworked, underpaid, and they do just the minimum amount, even with hospice. So I'm going to have to go in and check behind her and see what she did miss. Okay, so got all that done, and this is how it's looking so far. So what do we think? Are we loving that? Are we loving the little key? We can put ribbon there, and that is very cool. Now I do want to ink it up so that it's, you know, it's older looking. I'm going to use some of the brown, the vintage photo again. Now I'm going to use my little inker and just kind of ink up this stuff. And like I said, things age at different rates in the drawer, so you don't want to make it completely dark, but even get some of that on the white lace, because you don't want everything to be all aging the same. Alright, so this is looking pretty good to me. I like the way that it looks. I'm gonna put that binder clip back on that key for now, and we're gonna set this aside and let that dry. And then we're going to go to this little tag. I need to figure out which key I want to use, so I know there was some glue on here, and I'm probably all in it. Okay, so I have a lot of keys. Oh, look how cute is that? Little bird, and it says I love you, and little hearts on the back. I don't want to use that today, though. Okay, so this is going to be a lesson in don't use too much stuff, but I really want to go for something that looks different, you know. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I have these little tiny roses as well. We could add one right there. Kind of humped up there, so let's see if I can't flatten it out just a tad. Okay, don't like it. Starting over. Now see, I glued this button to the stamp, and it's there now. It's there. We could do, see, I don't want to do anything too big, so we're going to go with the smaller little things that I pulled out that I think can really make it look like this stuff goes on it. So, like I said, I just like to play around with it, see what I can do that would be different for me. That's cute. I love the stamps because they come in all different colors. And so they just look really cool to me. I love stamps. Always have. Always loved a good stamp. They're just so interesting. They're like little pieces of art on little tiny pieces of paper. So I find that very interesting. There's just not too many things that I find that interesting, but you know, it's a little artworks to me. I love that. Alright, so this is too brown. This is not going to go. But if we were to do that, alright. Y'all, my process, like I said, is so very, just play around with it, see what happens. Get this little tiny via airmail. Not feeling that either. I wonder if we turned it over. Don't be afraid, like me. Don't be afraid to use your stuff. I buy things and then I don't want to use them because I don't want to let it go. Okay, that's coming together really pretty. Let's see. What else can we do? Now, I'm that rare bird that I will glue just thread. I'll take things apart and just use the threads. So whenever I say I don't throw things away, when it comes to scrapbooking, I really don't throw a lot away because I shredded some of this and put it under the button and like right here. And it really just added to the tags. So those little bits of, those little touches, they really add so much personality to the tag itself. You know, you wanna definitely put your process in there. I don't know how else to say that other than save your little threads while you're doing it. You don't have to save them after, but I have a little box, a box of little tiny ephemera that interests me. But again, I don't want to get rid of this stuff just yet because I may want it for something else. I might. Just don't know. I just never know. Okay, that's really big, but I can cut it down. And also these tags too that are torn like that, you could hang off of it. And I think it would be okay. Let me see here. Just not feeling that, but I am liking that. Let's see what else we have here. This one is really pretty, but it's too big. I love a good stamp. Love, love, love a good stamp. Anyway, I think I'm going to go in that direction. But you know what we didn't put? We didn't put a key on there. So what I was saying about my rant for my father-in-law is that we just changed hospices so that we could have better care. And I don't know if people are just ignorant to the care that they receive from people, but I got a lot of really great reviews from this hospice. Now, the nurse is top-notch. The CNAs are who I'm really having trouble with. I haven't really had too much trouble with the nurses. But those CNAs, I just don't think they get paid enough to really give a rat's rear end. We had one lady who was so just, she was friends with us before it was all over with, and they changed her territory. I cried. I did not want to have her not come over every day. She and I have become very good friends. Now I'm just gluing all this down. I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged the lady that was in charge to please let this lady come back. And she was she basically laughed in my face and said, we can't justify the cost of her driving all the way to your house every day. And while I could understand and appreciate that, they couldn't find me anybody who was worth the poo. I think we got rid of probably about 4 other women just due to neglect, cutting him, hurting him. I mean, when I tell you these people were like awful, and they couldn't follow directions. I have very clear, concise directions on how I want things handled with him, because I am a nurse and I did home health for a lot of years. I'm going to do the binder clip thing. And you know, I don't want corners cut. I just don't. Now I'm going to try to get some of the glue and paint off of my fingers. So just, I don't want corners cut. I don't want them to just do a half job, because I would never do that to someone's loved one. And this lady was really sweet in the beginning, but she is rushing through it now and missing things. And so right now, like, I'm going to have to go in and make sure that everything was done correctly. And then I will probably have to call and complain, and that is who I have become, the complainer lady. The one that everybody was like, oh, that's what she does. I'm looking for my buttons. I don't like it, but at the same time, you know, when people rely on you to take care of them and they're in your charge, you know, most people tend to, you know, want their loved ones taken care of the best that they can. It's kind of like I was, oh, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. I was watching This Is Us last night, and he was saying that he would spare no expense for his sister, you know, as long as she got the best care. You know, whatever that might be, he would pay for it, and that's exactly how I feel, you know. Now, I am just figuring out, do I want a button and a key? Do I want to, because this is a pretty small tag, so should I stop here and then just put a ribbon on that and call it done? It still looks kind of plain to me. I'll tell you what, though, I'm going to look for a black button while I talk to you about this. So, most people want their family to be taken care of, and that's just the way it is. So, as they lost their home, they've lost children, they have had just a really rough couple of years. And I stepped up to take care of them, and I vowed to do that. I do like that darker button on there. It kind of adds to it, right? Okay. So I know you're saying right. I know you're in your home and you're saying, that's exactly what it needed. I feel you. You know, when you need a darker button, a little bit of glue right there. Okay. So yeah, they're getting the best care that I can give them. A lot of people don't have the private nurse on duty 24/7, but that is what I do for them. And I think it's getting to be about lunchtime for them as well, so I'm going to have to go puree some food for him. Alright, get all these buttons back in here while I chit chat with y'all. This key should probably be about dry. Alright, so what I'm going to do, oh, I keep hitting the camera stand. So what I'm going to do, I cut some black lace, probably maybe 2 inches. And I'm just going to twist it so I can get it through the little keyhole there. I'm going to pull it through the little keyhole. What that's going to do is kind of contrast the white and the black lace together and give it a more of an even better vintage look. Alright. So, this is the big tag. What do we think? Are we loving that? Now you can add more. You can go on and you can add more and more and more stuff. And then I also like to take it over. Take that pumice stone ink and just rub it on there. Let it kind of soak in from the back. Give it that inked up look. These brayers are good and they work really well in brayers. These little dabbers, I guess that's what they are. They're good, but they don't give it that dark look in spots is what I want. And now I'm going to use the antique linen. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing. Now with the back, you can decorate the back. You can have that whole two-sided tag look. I think it'd be great. And now I'm going to do something a little fun here. I am going to use my waxed gold. This is Gold Rush Metallic Luster. Alright, and I've got a little sponge here, so I'm just going to, it's a paste. I'm just going to dab those edges, just kind of give it kind of a metallic-y look to the back there. And once you put this stuff on, it really does not come off. It's a wax. Okay, so the back looks really pretty with that gold. Brings it to a whole new dimension, doesn't it? And the more you rub and buff, the more antique-y it'll look. And you can go back and add different colors on there. And I probably should have done that before the key, but you know. Okay, I'm just going to add some of this gold to the edge here, just to kind of give it more of a vintagey feel. Brings it out a little bit too. And this wax kind of helps seal it. Alright. That turned out way better than I thought that it would. That gold just made it pop. It was what it was missing. Again, that is metallic luster. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It is in the color Gold Rush, but they have so many different colors, so definitely want to look. It's a wax paste. And there you go. Isn't that beautiful? And we will call that done for now. Alright. So now we have this one. Just move all these things out of the way. And I still feel like it needs more. So I'm going to put some more words over the top here. Oh yeah, that made it pop. When in doubt, you just want to keep putting things on that you love until it is the way that you want it to be, the way you want it to look. Now see, the words smudged with that sponge, but I think in the long run that's very pretty. Now for the cording on here, since it's small, I want to go with this natural hemp cord. This is one of my favorites. You can get this at Walmart. I think we'll go with the third one down. And I'm just going to cut that. Now check this out. You don't even have to make your own, because your own hole, because these keys on the edge actually have the hole for you. So there you go. Alright. You can see that key is pretty much in place now. Now you can strip this and make it more feathered, but for right now, because I have to go make them lunch, I am just going to, if I can make my words pop a little bit more. Alright, I like the way that turned out. There we go. That key has a little ornate embellishment. It's a rose. And I think that's really, really pretty. And then you have all this edging on here, so that's really pretty too. But boom, the back is white. What are we going to do? Well, I think we're just going to use that gold to cover up the white and just make it look a little bit more aged. I just love this gold look. I think it's really, really pretty. Now getting it off your hands, that's the fun challenge. Or your nails, because I have just gold waxed my nail. My brand new nail. And I'm okay with that. Hopefully YouTube is okay with that as well. So, just going to ink it up with the pumice stone. That's one of my favorites. Now, because it's not really inking up big, I'm going to use a little black over that just to age it even more. that is really different. And that's the way the back of the tag came out. And I'm just going to make sure it doesn't come off on me. And also, let's just put some words on the back, just in case somebody decides that they really want to look at the back of it. It'll look like a two-sided letter that got torn up. I love it. Now you got to decide which side of the tag you want to use, because they're both really pretty. Alright guys, so those are my tags. Hopefully, oh, those are my tags. And I'm hoping that you love them and you will make them as well. Let's see. Let's give you a close-up here. Look at there. I am even getting better at that. Okay. So, there you go. There's my tags. They're so beautiful, and I just love these antique aged looking things, and I hope that you love them as well. I may not stop. I may come back and put a flower right there. I could be doing a lot of things. So when you see this on Instagram, you may see something totally different than what I started with. But this is where I'm going to call it finished for now. I love the way the gold looks in the light. It's so just illustrious looking, but aged looking as well. So it kind of gives this sheen, different color altogether. It kind of makes it look 3D-ish. And the camera probably doesn't pick that up, so go get you some of that gold luster and use that as well. But this was a lot of fun, and I hope that you had fun, and I hope you try it. Let me know if you do, and let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Be sure and subscribe, guys.
I'm up for anything like that.